Welcome back to Unirunner Video Drum Lessons for Thursday, August 9th, 2007. My name's Darren Mathis, glad you could tune in. And this week I'm going to be trying to make Tommy Igo barf. Well, you may be asking yourself how I got that title for this podcast. Actually, I checked out the Vic Firth Drum Set podcast, which is an excellent podcast. I encourage you to check that out. But this week, Tommy Igo was, they gave an excerpt from Tommy Igo's clinic where he talked about something. He said something to the effect, if you're here to hear how to apply drum rudiments to the drum set, you will be disappointed. He said something like, if I hear about that or see that one more time, I'm going to barf. So that is in fact what I'm going to do this week. Because of my love of applying rudiments to the drum kit, there's always something new that can be done, and it's usually pretty easy, and it sounds like a lot more than actually is happening. So what I'm going to do this week is show you real quick how to do apply a rudiment, the paradiddle, in a different way than I've done before on the podcast, to a tom fill. So I did it too in that opening segment of me playing there. I applied it on a couple of times on the toms and also playing the China cymbal. So I'll show you what it is here real quick. I'll play a little bit. So it's that's it pretty much there. So paradiddle is right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. So I'm going to play the downbeat on the tom. So if I'm going 1 E and 2 E and with paradiddles, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, I'm going to play the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4 on the toms. So it's right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. So that's the same thing I'm doing, but I was doing before with the paradiddle. Well, I'm just putting the downbeat on a tom. And you can do that with the cymbals too. Instead of playing the downbeats on toms, play them on the cymbals. And every time I'm hitting the cymbal, I hit the kick drum there. So anyway, that's a quick and easy way to apply the paradiddles to the kit, and I probably won't run out of ideas for applying rudiments to the kit, even though it might make some people barf. But I would still encourage you to check out Tommy Igo. He talks a lot about adjusting things, or on his podcast he talked about adjusting your technique to mess with your time center and just more general broad scope of topics. So if you have any comments about that, be sure to visit unirunner.com or fire me off an email at info@unirunner.com. Speaking of emails, I received a few this week, and I'll try to get to a few of those in this podcast. Let's see, this first one, I talked about metronomes and keeping your beats steady or your tempo steady in the last podcast or two. Okay, this one is from Jeff. He talks about metronomes, which I was talking about practicing with metronome. He mentions the Groove Guide, which is a reverse metronome trigger. It attaches to the snare, and I've seen these before. I think they're made by various manufacturers. You put them on your snare drum, and then if you play a backbeat or a steady rhythm on the snare, it'll tell you the amount of time between each snare hit. So instead of listening to a click, you're just adjusting your feel to try and maintain the same amount of time between snare hits. So thanks, Jeff, for mentioning that, because that is a way, he says he's seen this thing work. It's pretty slick. So instead of listening to the click, 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 you adjust your tempo by keeping an eye on the meter. So that is something to try. My drum instructor, Cody Collins, used to have one of those, and it was kind of interesting way to exercise and work on your steady tempo. So thanks for that email, Jeff. Okay, I was talking about playing along with pre-recorded music that had the drum track taken out so you can play your own drum part along with pre-recorded music. And Stan left a comment on the website unirunner.com. Says there are sites, or you can go to playjazznow.com and purchase several songs. He says he's actually has them himself, and they're easy, intermediate, and advanced level tracks, and the music is just piano and upright bass. They sound great, are very challenging to play, he says. So thanks, Stan, for leaving that comment. Also, if you go to Vic Firth, there's a website, I'll put the link up here on the screen, that you can check out tracks, and someone said they update them pretty regularly. It gives you an MP3 that you can download with and without tracks, and also the chart, so you can follow along. So again, if anyone has any other resources for music like that you can play along with your own drum track, let me know. Be sure to let me know. Now Xavier from Texas writes, how exactly are you supposed to hit a China cymbal? I've seen various ways, and I don't know which one is the proper way. Also, I haven't seen you actually hit it on camera, but I've heard it a few times. Okay, Xavier, well, that was one of the reasons I moved it over here so you can actually see. So I'll demonstrate the proper way to hit a China cymbal. Okay, so what you do, take one drumstick like this, lay it in your hand like this, okay? And then put it between these two fingers, and take the other stick, put it between these two fingers, hold it like this, and then hit it. Like chopsticks. Just kidding. Try and interject a little humor there. But anyway, so is there a proper way to hit a China cymbal? Well, again, I heard it expressed. I've talked about this before. When it comes to technique, I just got a DVD, Jojo Mayer's, was it Secret Weapons for the Modern Drummer. I just got that DVD, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about it in future episodes. But he said something that I said in a podcast a while ago, that to the effect of that there's no bad technique. He demonstrates it by throwing a garbage can out the window, and if the sound of that garbage can hitting the ground is the sound end you're going for, then that's the technique you need. So I've expressed it too, and like if you hold a stick like this, you know, and hit the cymbal, if that's the sound you're going for, then that's not considered bad technique. He says, as I've said in the podcast, that the only bad technique is technique that doesn't allow you to express yourself. So that being said, there are many ways to hit the China cymbal. Usually I'll mount it like this, so it's got the rounded edge. If you mount it the other way around, you're going to have that raised lip, which is going to put more stress on the cymbal and the stick when you hit it. So there's a couple of pretty common ways that I'll hit the China cymbal. One is just like a crash cymbal, against the shank of the stick here on the edge, just right on the edge. Now I'll add the kick drum on that. And the other is just kind of more like a ride cymbal. This cymbal is pretty loud, so I don't have to lay into this very much for it to overpower everything on the set. And that's pretty common of China cymbals. They just cut through everything, so you don't need to crank on them too much. But lots of times I'll just lightly tap on it like a ride cymbal, like this. So that's one of the ways I like to interject the ride cymbal. And they sound great on offbeat patterns too. Like if you're going to play an offbeat on the ride cymbal, switch it over to your China. And so forth. Oh yeah, I also wanted to mention I got some new sticks this week. A friend of mine, John Surska, who plays in my praise band at church, found these sticks. They're Steve Jordan. And they're pretty long compared to, let's see, I'll get some other sticks here to make a comparison. I just really like the shape of the tip there. It's kind of more of a bead, which is nice for more of a pingy sound, and it almost seems like they bounce off the drums pretty well too. But I'll compare it to some other standard sizes here, or not still standard sizes. Here's an 8D, and it's about the same width as this 8D. This is the 8D, and if you're familiar with that size, and the Steve Jordan stick. Steve Jordan stick's a little bit longer, as you can see, And the shape of the tip is different too. So this one, the shape is more elongated, so you end up getting more wood on the cymbal. And so it's a little bit harder to get it more of a pingy sound. But the feel of this stick with the length I've found is just really nice, so I've really gotten into using these lately. I'll compare it to a more common size. Let's see here, I think I have a 7A. So it's not much thicker. It might even be the same thickness as a 7A, but look how much longer it is than the 7A. So if you like the thinness of a 7A, but are looking for a longer stick, the Steve Jordan stick by Vic Firth is really a nice one. So I've got a few more emails, but I'm going to save those for next time. I just kind of ran out of time. I only have a limited amount of time to do this podcast, especially like now when I come home for lunch. I just kind of sit down and have about 10-15 minutes to crank it out. But yeah, I'll just go over that. I'll play a few more of those Paradiddle fills for you on the way out here, and thanks again for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, otherwise suggestions, feel free to go to unirunner.com. You can leave a comment there, or again, email me at info@unirunner.com. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, take care, keep practicing, and God bless. Go.